Hey everyone, and welcome. I'm so incredibly pumped to have all you 8th graders here today for this explainer. You might want to get comfortable because we are setting off on a really fascinating journey. Today we're diving deep into Earth and space, and specifically, we're going to explore the ultimate origin story, the origins of our very own universe. We're going to bridge the gap between scientific theories and biblical creation, and we're going to do it by looking closely at what the data and our faith actually tell us.
So, how did everything actually begin? I mean, think about it. It's literally the biggest question in the history of the universe. Every single scientist, every explorer, and honestly, probably every one of you sitting in a science class has wondered about this at some point. Where did all of this space, time, and matter actually come from?
Now, for a lot of us, the answer kicks off right here. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's Genesis 1:1. It's an incredibly foundational scripture, and it establishes this core Christian perspective that the universe didn't just happen by some random accident. It tells us we have a creator, and that this creator acted with a highly specific purpose. Understanding that completely changes the game. It helps us balance our scientific explorations with our faith in God's amazing design.
Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1, Unpacking the Big Bang. The science of the beginning.
13.8 billion. Yeah, with a B. That is how many years ago scientists calculate our universe began. It is a timescale so unbelievably huge, it's honestly kind of hard for our human minds to wrap around it. But just try to imagine it. 13.8 billion years ago, everything we currently observe around us began to unfold.
So, what is the Big Bang Theory? Well, it proposes a rapid expansion of space itself from a very hot, incredibly dense point. Now notice that key detail, and this is super important. It was not an explosion. That's a massive misconception we need to clear up right off the bat. A lot of people picture this giant, fiery bomb going off in the middle of some dark, empty room, but that's not it at all. It was an expansion of space itself, stretching out from a tiny, impossibly small point.
Let's actually walk through how this logical sequence played out. First, it all starts with that very hot, super dense point. Second, we get that massive, rapid expansion we just talked about. Third, over a long period of time as space stretches out, all that matter begins to cool down. And finally, step 4, from that cooled matter, the stars, the galaxies, and eventually planets like ours start to form. Moving right along to Section 2, Evidence in the Stars. Looking for clues.
But seriously, how do we actually know any of this? I mean, it's not like someone was standing around 13.8 billion years ago with a clipboard taking notes, right? Instead, scientists have to act like cosmic detectives. They have to examine the specific clues left behind in space to piece together the history of our universe.
And they've found some pretty compelling stuff. Here are the two biggest clues we have right now: cosmic background radiation and the redshift of galaxies. These are the two major pieces of observable, scientific evidence that directly support the Big Bang Theory. Let's break each of these down so you can see exactly how they work. First up is redshift. A super easy shortcut to remember this is redshift equals galaxies moving away. When scientists look at distant galaxies through really powerful telescopes, they notice that the light from those galaxies shifts toward the red end of the visible light spectrum. And why does that happen? Because those galaxies are physically moving away from us. It's incredible proof that the universe isn't static, it is actively stretching and expanding right now. And our second piece of evidence is cosmic background radiation, or in simpler terms, leftover microwaves. Scientists using highly sensitive detectors have actually picked up these faint, low-energy microwaves coming from literally all directions in space. They believe this radiation is the actual remnant, the leftover energy from the early universe right after the Big Bang happened. It's kind of like the lingering warmth you feel in an oven long after you've turned it off. All right, let's bring this all together. Section 3, Bridging Science and Faith, two halves of the same truth.
I want to give you a really crucial framework to keep in mind, and it's basically this. Science explains the how, while Scripture explains the why. Think of them as two pieces of the same puzzle. Science gives us these incredibly helpful, observable details about the mechanics, how matter expanded, how stars formed, but Scripture gives us the ultimate meaning. Genesis tells us that the universe had a creator, and that it was made with a purpose.
And that leads us to this truly wonderful realization. The Big Bang essentially describes the very moment God spoke the universe into existence. You see, the Big Bang Theory doesn't deny God at all. Actually, many Christian scientists believe this theory simply describes the mechanism, the way God carried out the act of creation. As Christians, we can absolutely embrace and explore scientific theories like the Big Bang while still completely recognizing God as the ultimate creator behind the whole shebang.
Which brings us to our final stop, Section 4, Education with True Purpose. Why we learn this.
At the absolute core of the heroesmartacademy philosophy is this idea of intertwining education with biblical morality. Because let's face a hard truth here, education without morality can actually hurt you. What is the point of being super smart and highly educated if you just use it to make bad choices that hurt yourself and the people around you? Being smart simply isn't enough. We need the moral compass that comes from our faith to actually guide that education.
To really anchor everything we've talked about today, take a look at Romans 8:6-7. It promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. That's a massive promise, and it's something we really experience as we dig into this content. Intertwining your academic learning with a spiritual mindset doesn't just make you a smart, informed student, it brings true, lasting peace to your mind. So, I'm going to leave you with one big, thought-provoking question to chew on. How will you use your education and your faith to bring peace to your world? You now understand the how from the science of the Big Bang and the why from the scriptures of your faith. Think deeply about how you can combine that knowledge and morality to make a real positive difference out there. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep exploring and definitely keep learning with purpose.